Hello, fellow people, and today I was doing a video on ranking the greatest Transformers from good to greatest. So let's begin. And we're starting off the list with this guy. So it's the Transformers Cerberus Ultra Class Ramjet. Now, in my opinion, I think this figure is really good, but I have some problems with him. For example, when you try to, at least the Energon armor does not want to actually tap in. There's supposed to be a tab somewhere in the head, but it doesn't connect properly to the port in his forehead. Probably because this is too thin. Only because the tab is either too thin, too small, or the port is too thin. It's too shallow. I don't know how to describe it. I like the idea that there's a secret weapon, but the way that it's executed is mixed, because it doesn't really help that this part is actually doesn't have a tip that supports this. Any faux forms, but I don't really care about that. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. So next up is we got Thrust. Yeah, I'm really going too harshly on the Coneheads, but I only have this guy and Ramjet. I don't have Dirge. So yeah, there's almost no problem with him. It's only that when you try to put his gun onto his hand by the instructions telling you, it does not look good at all. But when you try to do this, it looks good, but it doesn't stay on too long. Anyways, I actually like the green that they used. It looks really good. It reminds me of some sort of candy, for some reason. Now I question why the Nulrays are here. They probably should have been here. That or I just don't really pay too much attention to CGI models. And I actually like how they added in thrusters. Only question is, why were they painted? Because if you see, these are screwed in, so that must mean that they're molded out of black plastic, right? Well, apparently not, because one of the thrusters, I think, yeah, this one, it's starting to paint chip. That's pretty much my only problem, that they didn't really use. Just use a black plastic for the thrusters. Pretty good inclusion, but still. So let's move on. And here we have this guy, Series 86 Jazz. Yeah, you may be wondering what's wrong with him. Well, it's that there's parts of him that are starting to yellow, like these parts. They're fixable, but I don't know. But apparently they're fixable. So yeah, and this entire part is clear plastic, all except the doors. And this literally makes up the entire top of the car. So that will probably ruin the look of the figure if it breaks. Which it did happen. Which I'm worried about. And it seems like we're going to the really good ones with this one, Studio Series Blitzwing. Now, granted, I didn't get this figure this year. I got him last year, but I still like him. So you can see that his accessories are just these two and these two. There's a pretty cool inclusion. But I don't have the off-road Bumblebee. Gosh dang it. the gun tab, the way the gun plugs in is pretty good, and it actually secures, unlike the rest. So yeah, I don't barely have any problems with them. The jet mode is alright. It's because of his licensing issues, and I really like how these legs transform. And another problem I have is this part is entirely clear plastic. And like I discussed earlier, clear plastic is breakable. So yeah, let's move on. Hello, Philip. Yeah, sorry about that. So here we have Mirage, Studio Series Mirage. Now, you may be wondering, he does not look entirely accurate to his CGI model. You're correct. It's actually supposed to be his game model, and not his movie model. I still think it's pretty good. That's probably because of the copyright reason, the licensing issues, and yeah. That's pretty much it for this guy. There is barely any problems. He looks really good, and he feels really good. He does not feel like breaking, though. Like the other figures, this has clear plastic as the entire backpack. That's pain. Hope this stands up for a while. Here we have Kingdom Slammer, and he's gonna hold you at gunpoint. And I'm not gonna make it if you like and subscribe. I'm not that kind of person. I think it's optional. I believe it should be optional. So, yeah. This guy's pretty good. Though I have some problems. For example, his loose waist and the fact that this piece, does not really want to plug in. And the fact that this is pretty much gray. This is painted gray. So if you try to scrape him, it might end up chipping, which I think will happen because Kingdom and Earthrise figures, when it comes to paint quality, is very bad. Siege was really good when it came to paint quality, but I think this figure is still pretty good. And here we have this guy. This Studio Series Revenge of the Fallen Sideswipe. I actually got him. Yeah, the reason I got him was because I missed out on Dark of the Moon, and this looks pretty good. There's hardly any problems with the guy. The only problems were the weapon storage was not the strongest. Yeah, that was actually it. And this part is loose. Very loose. But I think this figure's still good. So let's move on. And for the final one, it has to go to Kingdom Soundlife. That's right, Kingdom Soundlife. This figure is honestly probably the greatest figure, car glass figure. There's barely any problems, and with the problems he does have, they're easily fixable. An example would have to be to take his head out, so you could use one of his part separator. You could use one of his guns as a part separator. Problem solved. Just going to. Not a fan of the Cartier tape deck. Just fold these in. Now I just sound like an obvious Captain Obvious. Now I just sound like Captain Obvious for this. And you could also still do the laser beak eject pose by doing this to his arm. And yeah, that's honestly really good. That's honestly pretty cool. And yeah, this is pretty much it for this part of the video, so be right back. Hello fellow people, and today we'll be taking a look at 3 of the worst Transformers of 2021 what I got. So let's start off with number 3. Transformers, Earthrise, Blastmaster. Okay, I should not do that voice. Yeah, I think Phaser look is pretty good. There's almost nothing wrong with him, well, except the way they handled the Gibble. But that's pretty much it. This guy, on the other hand, he has a few problems. For example, if you stand him up straight, he'll fall. I'm not sure if you could somehow... Yeah, there's nothing that could help. And when you transform him with his separate mode, just going to quickly do that. This is what the separate ult mode looks like. And yeah, that's the reason why I try to plug in Phaser as best as I could. But Phaser does not really want to tab in properly. That or it's Blastmaster. I like the idea of a NASA shuttle, but the way it's executed was kind of bad. So yeah, this goes in third because I still like it, but still. Here we have Authentic Optimus Prime. Yeah, I don't know why I actually bought this. This was a just because moment. This was a just because I got it. So yeah, the head sculpt looks pretty accurate, I guess. Though it's kind of questionable why they gave him a G1 head instead of some sort of Cyberver-ish head. And this reminds me of Masterpiece Optimus. That's not a complaint, that's just pretty funny. I can't actually be mad at him. He is a figure that's supposed to be for small kids and it's supposed to be affordable, but still. Also, this is pretty cool. So he's not entirely my least favorite. This guy, on the other hand, yeah, there's pretty much no excuse. So you can see that if you... Oh, what the heck. He's entirely hollow. And this isn't entirely... This part is not entirely usable. But why would you leave that part hollow? That's the real question. And the fact that his face is incorrect and the shade of green is just weird. I literally said that on the review. And yeah, I don't really have to explain anything anymore. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this entire long video. See you guys next time. Bye now.